The silence surrounding Martell right now speaks volumes. For a man who once lived for the spotlight, it's unusual to see him retreat. But that's exactly what seems to be happening. Instead of fighting back online or going live to defend himself the way he used to, he's staying low, perhaps realizing that no amount of talking can fix what's already broken. The public has watched him fall from grace before, but this time feels different. This isn't about a messy relationship or a cheating scandal, this is about what kind of man he truly is behind the image. When Arionne started making noise again, people thought it would be the same routine, a few cryptic posts, a few emotional messages, and then silence. But this time, her words carried weight. She wasn't begging for attention, she was venting from a place of exhaustion. People who have followed her from the beginning could sense that she's finally over it. The tone in her posts felt final. She's tired of being used, tired of being embarrassed, and tired of being blamed for everything that went wrong in Martell's life. Arionne has often said that she didn't ask for this life, that she didn't ask to be the villain in someone else's story. But the truth is, she played a role in that story, one that cost her more than she ever expected. For years, she defended Martell, even when he publicly humiliated her. She took on insults, online harassment, and endless criticism just to stand by a man who never truly stood by her. And now, she's walking away with scars that go deeper than what the public can see. Her decision to call out Marceau Scott adds another layer of tension to the situation. Marceau has been dealing with rumors for years, but they've always been brushed off as speculation. Still, there's a reason those rumors never completely disappear. There's a reason why every time someone mentions infidelity or secrets among the men, Marceau's name finds its way into the conversation. And now, with Arionne hinting at things she's allegedly seen or heard, the drama feels like it's building toward an explosion that could shake the entire friend group. Once again, fans are questioning whether Marceau will finally respond directly or if he'll let it blow over like he always does. Because if there's one thing consistent about Marceau, it's his ability to stay calm when everyone else loses control. But some believe that calmness isn't peace, it's avoidance. They say he knows how to deflect, how to joke, and how to steer the conversation away from himself whenever things get too close for comfort. And while Arionne's credibility has often been questioned, she's not exactly known for inventing things out of thin air. Every time she's spoken, there's usually been some truth buried beneath the drama. Maybe not the full story, but enough to make people listen. So when she starts mentioning Marceau again, people can't help but wonder if she's holding on to something bigger, something she hasn't revealed yet. At the same time, Martell's image continues to crumble. His attempts at rebranding himself as a responsible father, a businessman, and a changed man are constantly overshadowed by his past. No matter how many times he posts pictures of his kids or talks about growth, people remember the old Martell, the one who cheated, who lied, who couldn't control his temper. And now, with the rumors about his children allegedly being exposed to that temper, it's becoming harder and harder for the public to see him as anything but toxic. The saddest part of it all is that the children didn't ask for any of this. They didn't choose fame, or the cameras, or the constant public scrutiny. But they're growing up watching their parents' pain play out for the world to see. And no matter how hard Melody tries to shield them, the internet doesn't forget. Every post, every argument, every insult between their parents lives forever online. And that's the kind of damage that fame can't fix. People close to Melody have often said that she's doing her best to keep things peaceful. She's focused on her work, her business, her faith, and her healing. But every time Martell or Arionne makes a headline, she gets dragged right back into the chaos she's been trying to escape. That cycle of peace and pain never seems to end. And as strong as she is, even Melody must feel the exhaustion of constantly having to rise above. Meanwhile, fans are starting to question whether Martell has ever truly taken accountability for his actions. He's apologized before, but his behavior always seems to repeat itself. It's as if he knows what to say to gain sympathy, but not what to do to change. His charm used to be his strength, now it feels like his curse. Every person who gets close to him ends up hurt or disillusioned, even his friendships are suffering. The men who once stood beside him, Marceau, Maurice, seem to be keeping their distance. What was once brotherhood has turned into quiet competition and subtle shade. No one wants to be associated with the downfall of Martell Holt, especially not when their own reputations are already under scrutiny. And then there's Arionne, who seems to be finding her voice after years of silence. For so long, she played the role of the woman in the shadows, hidden, silenced, and disrespected. Now, she's finally speaking for herself. Some see her as bitter, others see her as brave. But no matter where you stand, it's clear that she's done protecting Martell. She's no longer worried about how her words might affect him, she's only concerned about freeing herself from the hold he's had on her life for nearly a decade. Her decision to walk away marks a shift not just for her, but for Martell as well. He's losing control over his image, his relationships, and his narrative. The women in his life no longer fear him or his temper. They've seen too much, endured too much, and now they're speaking up. That's a dangerous position for a man who thrives on control. People are already speculating about what this means for the upcoming Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. Will Martell show up and face the music? Will Arionne make an unexpected appearance or be addressed by name? And how will Marceau handle being dragged into yet another scandal tied to Martell's past? The tension among the cast is already high. Everyone is walking on eggshells, trying not to get caught in the fallout. Because in Huntsville, loyalty has become a rare commodity. Everyone has secrets, and everyone knows that at any moment, those secrets could become storylines. Fans are also pointing out that the pattern of chaos surrounding Martell seems to follow him no matter who he's with. Even outside of Arionne, every new woman linked to him eventually ends up in some kind of public mess. It's almost like the drama never ends, because the source of it never changes. Some say Martell is addicted to attention. That even when it's negative, he craves it. That the silence between scandals makes him restless. And in a way, that might explain why every time peace starts to form, something new erupts. Because chaos is familiar to him, it's the only thing he's ever been able to control, but this time, he might be facing something that charm and deflection can't fix: his children's perception of him. As they grow older, they're forming their own opinions, seeing their father not just as daddy, but as a man whose choices have shaped their family's entire history. They're old enough to see the patterns, to read the stories, to hear what people say. And that realization might hurt more than any public criticism. Arionne, meanwhile, seems to be reclaiming her life piece by piece. Her posts now have a tone of finality, almost like someone who's finally seeing clearly after years of confusion. She's no longer trying to convince people to understand her, she's just telling her truth. Whether people believe her or not doesn't matter to her anymore. She's tired of carrying the weight of Martell's sins. Her decision to expose Marceau might also be her way of leveling the playing field. For years, she's been the only one publicly humiliated while the men walked away with their images intact. Maybe she's decided that if she's going down, she's not going alone. The reactions online have been divided. Some say she's stirring the pot for attention. Others say she's finally doing what needed to be done, exposing the hypocrisy among the men who've built their reputations on lies and deceit. Either way, people are watching closely, because when Arionne speaks, the ripple effects always reach further than anyone expects. As the days go by, one thing becomes clear: there's no going back. Martell can't undo what's been said, and he can't control how people see him anymore. His reputation is no longer just shaped by his words, it's defined by his actions, his silence, and the stories others tell about him. The more he tries to stay quiet, the louder the noise becomes. The fans, the blogs, the cast, everyone's talking, everyone's speculating, and everyone's waiting for him to respond. But perhaps, for the first time, Martell doesn't have an answer. Maybe he's realizing that every bridge he's burned is gone for good. That every person he's hurt has finally had enough. And that no amount of charm or explanation can erase years of public humiliation, betrayal, and emotional destruction. The story of Martell Holt is one of potential wasted and lessons unlearned. He had the world at his feet, a beautiful family, fame, success, and opportunity, but he couldn't control himself long enough to hold on to it. And now, the same arrogance that once made him confident has become the thing tearing him apart. As this chapter unfolds, one can only hope that he finally takes a moment to look in the mirror and see what everyone else sees: a man who needs help, healing, and humility more than he needs attention. Because until he faces himself, the cycle will never end, and for everyone involved, Melody, the children, Arionne, and even Marceau, the only way forward is through truth. Painful as it may be, the truth is the only thing that can finally bring closure to this long, messy saga that has stretched far beyond television. As the world watches, one thing remains certain: in Huntsville, secrets never stay buried for long. And the longer Martell tries to hide from the truth, the louder it will echo back at him.